Hey, what's going on everyone? In this video, I'm doing a review of the Phillips 40PFL4707 TV. We'll start with the specs and hardware design and then move into the USB features and menu options. So basically, it's a 40-inch 1080p LED TV with a resolution of 1920 by 1080, as a refresh rate of 60 Hz and a contrast ratio of 4000 to 1. The TV of course supports Dolby Digital. And speaking of the sound, it has two 10-watt speakers. Power consumption while the TV is on is 106 watts, and while the TV is off is 0.5 watts. And of course the TV with the base weighs a total of 30 pounds. So before we get into the design and look of the TV, we'll get the remote out of the way. The remote, I really like this remote. In terms of size, it's pretty average. It's got a curved design. It's not the most comfortable in the world because of the pure plastic back, but it feels pretty nice in the hand. The reason I really like this remote is because it just is pure simplicity. There's very minimal amount of buttons, only what's necessary, and that's what makes it most effective. Okay, so moving into the physical aspect of the TV itself, I know it's a little bit dark considering that there's no picture, but you can see the bezel itself is about an inch wide, and it's not too bad. Some LED TVs are a lot thinner, less than half an inch bezel. This one's a bit wider. Not a big deal, but not too common nowadays. This one has a bit wider for an LED TV. Over on the left side, you have a VGA port for PC connectivity, one USB port. This is the only one in the entire TV. Two HDMI ports. And here's something I find a little bizarre. For this TV, the cable antenna port is on the left side. So if for example, how can I explain this? If yours comes out too wide, it might even come to the side of the TV depending on how it's positioned and how snug the wire is. So I'm not a fan of it being on the left side of the TV. I mean, most of the time, even old school TVs are always at the back. This is the only one that has it at the side for some bizarre reason. And of course, over at the back, you have an additional HDMI port, making it a total of 3. You have a digital audio out. And of course you have the regular YPBPR ports. Okay, so moving on to the menu of the TV, it's got your pretty generic stuff. You got picture, backlight, etc. Nothing too special. It's pretty generic stuff. Sound, you can adjust everything from here. And of course setup. There's nothing to really go through. There's nothing too fancy here because this isn't a smart TV or anything like that. Okay, so as mentioned, it does have a USB port, and it only plays pictures. So here's a weird thing. To access the USB playback, you can't select the source. As you can see, there's no USB listed, right? So it's pretty bizarre that you have to go to the menu, you have to press the menu button, go down to USB, then select your USB stick, then select the picture. Of course, it does have videos, but it's only like, I'll just show you guys. But while the picture is playing, you can't press the right button to go to the next picture. It has its own, see, I'm pressing back, it won't go back. It has its own slideshow feature. You can't just skip to the next picture. It's a really poor design. So what I was telling you about videos though, it lists it here. As you can see, it says supported format is motion JPEG or 320 by 240 at 30 frames per second. So basically, it doesn't play any popular file types like even AVI for that matter, so it's kind of a disappointment in that sense. Okay, so in terms of picture quality on this thing is fantastic. Keep in mind, it's not the best LED TV picture quality I've ever seen, but it is better than most LCDs, and that's pretty much what matters. You can tell that this is indeed an LED TV. In terms of volume is pretty strong. Let's just show you guys. So this is about a third of the way right now, and the volume is pretty decent. It goes to the max number it goes up to is 100, and right now the camera you guys are seeing recorded through is about, I would say, 7 feet away from the TV, so it provides pretty adequate sound. And of course the picture quality of course is being degraded because you're seeing this through a camera and then it's being played back on YouTube. So again, the picture is not the greatest in the world for an LED, but it's decent. Okay, so to give this TV a final verdict, I would give it a 3 out of a 5. The pros of the TV is that it provides a pretty decent picture, just passable for an LED TV, which is what matters. The sound is pretty great. A lot of people have complaints about a lot of HD TVs not providing enough sound. This one does a pretty decent job, of course. And of course, is the reasonable price of the TV, which isn't the most expensive, which is a pretty strong factor, which is pretty good. Now, of course, the cons is that it doesn't provide the best LED picture you could get. To be honest, there are a lot more better LED pictures on the market. I believe that this one's pretty decent because of the price. However, if you're willing to dish a little bit more money, you should look into getting a better LED TV for even sharper picture. Another con is the minimal USB functionality. To get to it, you have to go through the menu as I demonstrated. It only supports JPEG. It doesn't support a single AVI file or MP3 file for that matter. So it's pretty disappointing that the USB functions built in are pretty limited. And lastly, there's no network connectivity. You can't buy a Wi-Fi adapter even from Phillips and connect it to the TV. You can't even plug it in through an Ethernet port because there is no Ethernet port. So you can't connect it to your home network and try to stream anything from your home network, which is pretty disappointing as well. So if you're looking for a decently priced LED TV, this is the one for you to buy. But if you're looking for something like as amazing as possible without smart TV functions, well, you might have to look elsewhere. This one's just pretty average for an LED, let's put it that way. So that's my video review. If you found it video useful, check out my website in the description below. Hit the like button, it does help. Subscribe, and thanks for watching.